This is the Saskatchewan Cup mountain bike race number 3 for the year. It's called the Blackstrap Biter.
And it's called the Biter because there are a lot of hills out on this course. So if you go out a little too hard at the beginning, it's going to bite you a little bit later in the butt.
Cross-country mountain biking is it's usually a race that happens over the course of a lap that's usually around 7 kilometers in length. And depending on your age and your experience level, you'll do anywhere from 1 to 5 or 6 laps of that course.
And I know that seems like a long time, but this course is a bit unique in the fact that we're using some of the cross-country trails. So you have some longer grassy sections that are really nice to recover on, or if you're in great shape, that's where you can make your time. And then we have some other sections where trails are cut within the treed sections. And then for those people that are better technical riders, they make their time up there. For those people that are new, it's not unusual to get off your bike and walk.
One of the things you'll notice as you watch the race today is that there are a number of kids involved, but there are also lots and lots of older people involved too. So it's really become a focus of the Cycling Association to try to get more kids involved and sort of to try to encourage them to sort of to carry on and fill the gaps that the rest of us are going to leave eventually in the cycling community. So we really encourage that.
The biggest thing that we want to emphasize is that you don't need to be, some pro, super training kind of person. It's true, we've got people here who race at the national level, but then we've got folks that came out today that tried one lap, they've never raced before. We had little kids coming out who've never ever been out here before, and that's what this event is all about, and that's why we had the biggest attendance of any Sask Cup race in the last 3 years here today, because we're really trying to build a festival atmosphere.
It's a beautiful location, really good race course. It's an area that we're trying to develop and promote more for mountain bike racing out here. So it means a lot to us to have the race at Blackstrap. It brings profile to the clubs who are sponsoring the race, to the Northern Bush Rastas and Bruce's Cycle Works clubs. And it also brings some exposure to the park itself. This is an interesting course, I think, because it does have some pretty long, difficult climbs, and also some interesting technical, twisty stuff running through, through the forests and winding trails with different obstacles and stuff.
It's challenging when it's dry. When it's wet, it ups the ante, that's for sure. A couple of the sections are pretty swampy because they're in a little bit of the low areas. And today there was a bit of a slop hole. And when things get wet, they get slippery, and people like me fall down.
It was a little muddy. All this rain made the trails a bit slippery, but the course, it was good. Those hills, though, in the sun, it's a challenge.
There are a few places today, some sort of really steep drops that have gotten kind of muddy from the rain that we've had over the last month. And some of those are things you have to watch out for too, because in addition to just the technical nature of the terrain, some of these places are kind of slippery today too.
It was a little wet. There was one little hole that got me stuck. I made it through twice, and then the third time, no go. So that one got off, walked, got mud in my shoes. That's not really good, but I survived.
The fourth lap, I fell a couple times. Got a couple muscle cramps and finished pretty weak.
Your pace is never really steady. Sometimes you're pushing really hard because you have to climb, and then if you're descending, you're switching to a completely different kind of intensity where you're having to pay a different kind of attention, and it demands different kinds of energy from different parts of your body. So part of the challenge is the constantly changing pace.
I still haven't ironed out my whole nutrition, hydration, salt intake racing yet. Today I was also involved with marking the trail beforehand, so I didn't eat at the proper time, didn't drink all the water that I probably should have beforehand, so I was not really very prepared.
Well, I've always been interested in mountain biking. Since I was, say, in about grade 6, I've had a mountain bike, and I just decided to make the next step and take it a bit more seriously the last 3 years. And it's been a wonderful time, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone else.
The mountain biking and road biking and cyclocross people in Saskatchewan are a great bunch of people. It's so nice to be out here enjoying nature, intimately sometimes, a little too intimately, I love it. I've only been a member of the NBR for just a couple of years now, and it's super.
I use it as kind of a way to get out and challenge myself, and it's a great crowd and atmosphere, and on a day like today it's great to be outside.
The only other thing I have to say is that mountain biking is really, really fun, and everybody should try it. It doesn't mean going down huge steep mountains and jumping off cliffs and doing things that you see on highlight reels on TV. It's just a lot of fun to get out and enjoy yourself, get some exercise, and be in a beautiful place like this and be able to ride.